Hi, Tony Rangel here. Going to attempt to talk about formless awareness, consciousness, thinking mind, conceptual understanding, and non-conceptual understanding. This body and everything that is physical and material is a content in consciousness. Either your consciousness, my consciousness, or cosmic consciousness. And language, what you and I use to verbally communicate, is a duality. Language is symbolic. It represents in a sound another item. So the word tree is not the tree itself. The word consciousness is not consciousness. That is the essential duality. The word, and then that which the word is alluding to, referring to. Thinking mind is not aware of itself. These words that I speak are not aware of themselves. The word Tony is not aware of itself as the word Tony. But there is that which is aware of the words, of that which is aware of the thoughts and the emotions and the physical form. And that is consciousness. The word is never the thing itself. We understand that. And that's going to be a starting point. So there is something that is aware of thinking mind, and that is consciousness. Thinking mind is the instrument of conceptual understanding because it uses language and words and ideas and concepts to glean meaning. What does this mean? That you hate me? What does this mean? That you love me? What does this mean that I am in the sleep, deep in the sleep of separation? What does this mean to awaken from this dream? It requires a shift in perception from conceptual understanding to non-conceptual understanding. Because consciousness is prior to language, prior to the mind-created sense of me. And one of the difficult things for formless awareness, manifested as human being, awakening to its formless nature through this physical form, is that it identifies or misidentifies with thinking mind. And so it listens to thinking mind. And what thinking mind tries to do is to awaken. But thinking mind is a content in consciousness and cannot awaken. And as long as there is identification with thinking mind, awakening does not happen. Does not happen. Cannot happen. Yet, thinking mind, this physical form, is the way, crude as it may seem at the beginning, that awareness begins the awakening process where it awakens to itself. It starts with these clumsy mind and thoughts struggling for meaning, struggling to find meaning, and words try to go to the outer edges. And it talks about emptiness but cannot experience emptiness. It talks about spaciousness but it does not experience spaciousness. It talks about consciousness. Thinking mind cannot experience consciousness. The shift in perception from conceptual to non-conceptual. Non-conceptual understanding means no words, no language, no interpretations. Simply this. And being without words can be boring video. This body of mine is always anchored in the present moment. It's always a manifestation of reality. Thinking mind says that's not enough. It expects that there are fireworks, that awakening is something different than what it is, than this. The everyday moment is it. That is what is difficult for mind to understand. But consciousness, awakening to itself, needs not understand that. Needs simply to have a little separation, a little quiet. And in that quietness, in that embodied awareness, awakens to the fact that it is not limited to this body, to thinking mind, to these feelings and sensations. And the challenge, in a sense, for awareness awakening to itself in this form is how to live as an embodied, awakened human being. The thing about awakening that I've discovered is that mind-created sense of self coexists with awakened self. Spiritual self, cosmic self, personal self, all coexist. And this physical form is a conditioned form, and there are conditioned aspects to the brain and personality and behavior, where all this level of confusion and dilemmas and problems and things like that occur. But in those moments of quiet and non-conceptual understanding has kicked in, awareness realizes, oh, I was never asleep to begin with. I was always this. And part of the thinking mind quandary is that it expects to abide in awareness in some all-knowing way all the time. But thinking mind, as long as it's the rider on the horse, the driver in the car, is never going to get it, because thinking mind is a content in consciousness. It is not consciousness itself. This awakening process simply means, at some level, I was never asleep to begin with. I always am. I can't go anywhere other than where I am. This body can disappear and still I am. Not as I am in some conceptual sense of me, but as the ground of all existence, as the source and the mystery. And how can you really describe the mystery?